Hey, I wanted to touch base, let you know what I've been up to, and hopefully to inspire someone else maybe to get started trying. Um, so real quick, show you what I have done. Uh, Aquafina and Dasani bottles, they're nice and they're firmer than some other bottles, and they have a nice wide cap. And I've just rolled some tape over, put my figures down on them. This one got a piece of old paper here, so maybe it'll show up better. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to or not. There you go. So this gangster's all green, and the boss ones were all red. Uh, like this bottle's a little wobbly, but all you gotta do is just fill it up a little bit with a little tap water, and it'll help. But these work great, and I can even rest my hand on the table. I might show you that later, and then rest this on the table, something like this. So I can rest this on the table and then rest my hand, and I can turn and okay. So to show you a little bit of what I've been up to, these are the gangster bosses here. Okay. Let's see if I can get the camera to show this a little better here. These started out solid red. Now the reason I'm wanting to show you guys these figures, okay, the tokens that come in the game are white and black for the gangsters. So I've decided I'm going to make the bases of the boss characters white with a little black arrow, and then I'll do the reverse for the little thug minion people. And here's Icebox. He has, might be a little hard to see. Let me see if I can show you, but next to another one. I did his in a darker blue color. Okay, and the camera's having trouble focusing. I was afraid it would. That's why I got the sheet of paper. So let's see if I can get a good close-up here. There you go. So instead of trying to do eyes, I simply did irises and just did a little dab of blue and then a little dab of some pink for a lipstick. And I tried to go back over the gun and do like with a metallic looking color, just do a light overcoat. And it has some sparkle to it. It's hard to see here, but the figures look pretty good. I'm pretty pleased. This is the first attempt I've really done painting any sort of miniatures. So I wanted to show you guys because I've got a multi-pack of these old plaid brushes that I'm using, and I'll use this big one for sometimes mixing paint, especially like a large amount of flesh tone, or when I want to paint the base. And I've got another brush here, and then I have my if it'll zoom in. When it's wet, I'll twist it in the paint and it gives a better point to it, but you can see it's not a very good brush. It's not a great quality brush. So none of the products I'm using are great quality. Here I have some old the Folk Art White. It is a little runnier than I would have hoped, but it's not bad. And then I've got some Apple Barrel by Plaid. So I've got red and brown and black. And then here is like a metallic and metallic gray. It's a little runnier than I was hoping. And then just a big cheap bottle of yellow and blue. I just used the paints that I had laying around, left over from just doing art projects, and got this. The Boss Man's coat, okay, you can see it has a little bit of a color to it. I did an overcoat. I stuck a drop of the metallic gray Okay, I took a drop of this and put it in with a bunch of white and mixed it with a little distilled water or purified water and a drop of soap, dish soap. And then I mixed it up, and got it real thin. And as I'm mixing it up and I get on the brush, then I would immediately go and brush over the coat. And then I did it again, I'd keep mixing it until I got it really good on the brush. And you can see it has a little bit of detail on the coat, little shadowing, if it'll zoom. Get the piece of paper, see if it'll zoom on the, there we go. So these are not perfect, but you can see a little bit of gray there, and a little bit of shadowing there. Okay, but of course the camera, my little webcam, is not doing great, but I'm very pleased. I am shocked. And of course the bottoms aren't painted, so you have to be careful when you pull it off the tape. It wants to pull off this, and this will chip some as you rub it. And this has 2 coats of clear coat. I actually just used some matte clear coat for like outdoor plastic furniture stuff. I did a couple coats of that. I did a coat, let them set for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then came back and did another coat. And I'm very pleased, considering that I don't have any kind of quality good equipment. I'm just using what I had sitting around the house. I mean, look, now the paint jobs are not perfect, but I didn't pay anybody to do them. I did them myself, and so I'm very pleased with the way they come out. So I've had my family, anytime they've been drinking waters lately, to hold on to the bottles. So I've got several of these. I might do a little painting for you. I've got all of the Mob Henchmen ready to go, so I can just do like an assembly line. And so I might show you some of that. But I wanted to show you and hopefully encourage you too, because I've been very weary, very reluctant to even try the painting, because I just know I'm not a very good painter. And I finally decided, you know what? If I can do a decent enough job, they're going to look much better than just solid. And if I do a horrible job, I can always just get a bunch of paint remover and fingernail polish remover and just go back to basic color. So I'm super pleased with the way they turned out, and hopefully that'll encourage some of you. So let's look at some of the painting. Let's do some painting. Okay, I think I got everything kind of prepped, so I'm gonna show you what I'm doing here. Let's start off. I am getting low on red. I may have to buy some more, but 1 drop of red, 1 drop of blue, trying to get them as close to the same size as I can. Okay. Oh, that one bubbled up on me because I shook it too much or opened it too quick or something. And 1 drop of yellow. And then to lighten it up, I'm just going to put a couple of drops of white. I can always, here we go, add a couple more in a little bit. I'm going to use one of my bigger brushes and mix these up. So if you do equal parts yellow, red, blue, okay, you should come up with a tan color, a nice tan color. Okay, so mix these up really good. Okay, and of course if you have it in a little small container, you can keep it self-contained in a smaller area much easier. So I'm going to add 2 more little drops of this white just to lighten up this tan. So if you do equal parts red, yellow, blue, okay, then you add some white. All right, and still a little darker than me, which that's fine. There we go. Oh, that might be too much. We'll see. But also by adding the white like this, you'll use up less of your colors, which is fine if you have plenty. But here we go. Now it's starting to look almost like makeup. Okay, roll the brush around to try and get all of it off there I can. All right. Then dip this in the water just to kind of lightly push down on it and twist it as I pull it out just to try to get a little more of a point, and then going to roll it in the paint. Roll the brush. And that will try to help get it a better point. Don't know if it's gonna. Here we go. A little bit of a better point. Still not great, but move this off to the side now that you've seen that and seen what I'm doing. Okay. I put some water in. This one was pretty wobbly, so I put quite a bit of water in it. Some of them I didn't put very much at all, but I put a little bit of water in each one of them just so that they'll stand up better and gives me a little bit of weight to hold them. Okay. All right. So I've got an assembly line going here. I'm going to try and guess where his ear is and where his hairline is. And since you're doing this color first, you don't have to be quite as careful as I am. If you don't want to, you can always go over it with another color, but I do want to try and get a nice good thick coat on there. And every time I dip the brush in, I kind of twist it. Just kind of twist it just to help bring it to a point. Now the reason I'm doing this is since I have to mix the colors. I don't have, you can buy flesh tones already pre-mixed in a bottle, but I don't have any. And since I'm going to mix them, why not do this first? I can mix up enough to do them all as an assembly line. Then when I'm doing the black and the white, I have bottles of those, so I won't have to mix. Won't have to worry about the paint drying out and such. So I won't show you everything I'm doing. I'll probably cut away and come back later, but here's his hand. And if you look close, you can see the fingers. When you paint it, if it clumps up a little bit, and it's okay. It will hide some of the details on the fingers, but try to get an eye for it before you start painting so that you can see a little bit of the gun handle sticking out from below his hand. So I'm just going to try and leave that. There's a little bit of green showing up, so you may have to do a second coat on some of this and get it a little thicker, spread it out. And I hit the magazine here where the bullets are held, but that's fine. I'll be painting that black, so it'll cover it up. I'm going to get up under here. Okay, see if that'll focus in on his hand. I don't know if it will or not, but okay. And it is hard to get up in there. And so when you're painting it, you may end up with a few spots up under there that don't get covered good. It's okay. No one will pay that much attention. No one will notice probably but you. And it looks like behind his hand is gun and suit, so you can always just do it black and it'll cover up any bare spots. It'd be better if it was black like the background than unpainted green. Okay, here it looks like his hand is at the all the way to the bottom. There's nothing sticking out on the bottom. Closed fist. So I will do that. Trying to find these are small and not the highest quality. Plus my having trouble with my lighting sometimes. But they're not bad for what they are and how many you get in the box. Cannot complain. But some of the small details, like here, where does his hand end and his shirt sleeve cuff begin? So I'm just guessing. And once my eyes get adjusted to the distance I'm working at, I'll probably be able to paint a little bit faster. Ooh, I missed a spot on his face. There we go. And when you look at his face straight on, you can kind of see a little bit better detail of where's his face, where's his hair, stuff like that. Get his chin and neck. So I'm taking my time with this one. I might go a little faster on the others just to get it going. We'll see. Uh-oh. Clump of paint. So I'm fixing to clean my brush and get going again. Let me get this piece of paper and see if I can show you what's done so far. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know if maybe it's because of the light shining off of the yellow paper. I wanted something other than white because it's making the figure look blue instead of green. And there you go. All right. So we'll be back in a little bit. Maybe I can get a better picture or view, show you what I'm doing. But with my little assembly line, I can set this one here. And I'm ready to go. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I got that done. Some people are probably saying, no, why is he doing that? He should start the black and do that last. I like to start from the inside and work out when I can. Also, if I do too much, like I did here a little bit, it's much easier to cover the light color up with a dark color than it is to go back and completely cover the dark color. And now that I've got the faces and hands done, what I'm going to do is ever so slightly dip into the black. I stuck my brush into the water and twirled it and dried it pretty well. Tried to get a nice point, if it'll focus. Will it focus? There we go. As small of a point as I can. Tiniest bit of paint. I'm going to do some eyes. Now, as I said earlier, I'm not doing the whites and the irises and all that. I'm just giving them irises. These are tiny models. There we go. See if I can get it to focus. It is not perfect at all. Okay, but come on, focus, focus, focus. They are at least somewhat lined up. Okay, so I'm going to do that randomly on a few of them. But this way, if I mess up, I still have plenty of my skin color, my flesh colored paint I mixed. Okay, I still have plenty of it over here and it's still damp that I can paint over that. So I'm going to do most of them in black. These are just regular little foot soldier guys. I might do a couple in green. I'm going to give a little variety, and then I will do some with black hair and some with brown hair and mix and match those as well, just to give a little variety. There we go. His eyes look a little off. One of them looks a little larger than the other, but that is close enough. Okay. Try to redo my point on my brush, twist, and then another thing you can do too is when you get the paint on there, you can use your little plate or the paper towel, twist it on the paper towel to get off excess and leave just a little bit of paint. Plus it'll give you that point that you were looking for. Okay. And then when you get it in the spot you want, you kind of bunch the brush up. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's not great. This brush is not great. My hand is not super steady, and these miniatures are tiny. So the eyes are not going to be perfect, but giving it just a little bit of color like that is pretty neat. And if I mess up, I can just paint over the entire eye, let it dry, come back and try again. Now this one's messed up. This one's messed up. One of his eyes is too far on the side of his face. Either one is too close to his nose or one is too far down near his ear. And it looks even worse on camera, the way it's zooming in. So I'm just going to paint over that. It's not a big deal. Try to get that black out of my brush so that the flesh tone will match as much as it can, as close to the other one. It's already got a little bit of black from the eyeballs, so I want it to match the best I can. Paint right over it. I'm going to leave that eye. Ugh. This is another problem I found. Having not done a lot of painting, I didn't know exactly what all I needed to have set up. How was the best way to get everything set up? And I did watch videos online to get ideas from people I would consider professionals. There we go. That looks much better. There we go. All right, I will be back later and we'll do some more. I'm about to get these done. Here's one that has been setting for a while. Let's try it out. Got a few touch-ups and details to do. There's the one I just painted. You can tell it still looks a little wet. So, got one more to do. Show you real quick. I went ahead and did the whites of their shirts because it has a ridge where the jacket sticks out, and I had to paint it to be able to get down in there and get the white. So now I'll do the black, and then I will go back and do the white collars and do a white stripe around the neck, do a white stripe on the cuff there, just for the white shirt. So start off getting down in here. The necktie. And it doesn't matter if it smears a little bit, it'll be alright. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I have noticed that even these little models are very different. Some of them have a large gap here. Some don't. Some, as soon as I paint, the paint sticks and it fills in the hole. Some of them have a hole in the shoulder there. Some don't. So they're not perfect. That's fine. There we go. And then this is the hard part. Let's see if I can get this in here. So I'm going to run this along the bottom of the hat. I start off at the outside edge, and then as I pull it, I just keep easing it toward the face so that it barely touches. And then right here, I'm going to do this hair black as well, so I can just paint all this. All right, be back a little later.